Hello everybody, this is another Hot Wheels collector video. Today we are looking at the Volkswagen Kafer Racer. This is not a real car, but I'll get into that in a little bit in the facts section, which is going to be very short because this is not a real thing, so it doesn't have many facts about it. But anyways, I'll tell you where I got this one from. I got this one from an entertainer, pretty recently actually. They for some reason had a restock of older cases, so this was in there. This is obviously the regular version of a Super Treasure Hunt, and this is once again one of those cars where I think this looks awesome as a regular, and it really doesn't need that Super Treasure Hunt because this metallic paint on this metallic wine red, looks awesome. Without further ado, let me give you some facts. So this is not a real car, but it is based off the Volkswagen Beetle. It's a heavily modified version, and it is designed by Mark Jones. It's his own, like, I suppose, take on the Volkswagen Beetle. It's of course like a dragster, and obviously he said in his little video about this that he created for the Hot Wheels kind of YouTube channel, he said that this is pretty much, he tried to push this car and push the Volkswagen Beetle as far as he possibly could before Volkswagen would pull away their license for this casting. And this was the final product. It's a very, very crazy looking Volkswagen Beetle with many different design features. It has a few things that resemble a Beetle, including the headlights, but really that's it. The general shape is similar to a Beetle as well, but this is just a wild looking thing. And you can see that crazy engine in the back with those crazy exhausts, and this whole entire kind of fin on the rear with that huge little spoiler thing. Like, it's really interesting design, but it looks awesome, and it's obviously a racing car. And I think this is obviously the best livery that this car has ever had. It has been released many times before this one, but I don't think it's had a super good run in my opinion with the colour choice and the livery choice. But this one here is absolutely phenomenal, and I think this is the best release of this car ever to happen. So anyways, without further ado, let's get into my actual showcase of this car. There's quite a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. Right, so starting off with the side profile of this car has the retro style 5-slot wheel from 2013, that's when it debuted. This is a really good choice of wheel for this car. I think it really suits it. And it is done in a chrome orange, like the previous car that we just reviewed, although this is a more yellowy orange. You can obviously see, as I've already mentioned, the colour choice for this car is a very metallic wine red for this car. It's a really deep red and it really suits this car. And it does look better in person, as with every metallic paint job on Hot Wheels cars. You can see the actual casting does not have any wing mirrors, but that's Mark Jones' kind of design, so his design does not actually feature wing mirrors either, so that is actually accurate to his kind of interpretation of the Volkswagen Beetle and his kind of modification of it. You can see this is a wild looking car. It has vents, it has these really sharp and quirky lines, and it looks phenomenal. Really looks like it's actually something professionally designed by Volkswagen, and it really doesn't look like Hot Wheels have gone and designed this themselves. It's very high quality. So as for the tampo wear, we have the little racing checkered flag on the rear fender, as well as the number 44. We also have the Volkswagen badge, which is done in white. You can also see there are some nice striping, so we have a white stripe as well as a gold coloured stripe. You can also see the door handle is actually in the cast itself, and the front windows are actually rolled down in this car as well. Very nice. You can see these fenders and arches are absolutely wild and very exaggerated in Mark Jones's design here. Really cool. And what's also interesting to point out is how quickly that front slopes down on this car. It's a very rapid sloping front compared to the standard Beetle. Speaking of the front, let's take a look. There is no tampo work, but you can see the actual front bumper splitter section is created using the gold coloured plastic base plastic, of course. Plastic base plastic. Anyways, the front headlights are not tampoed, but they are carved out, so you could add your own details if you so wished. You can also see that hood is very nicely designed with that continuation of Mark Jones's interpretation of the Beetle. And you could also see the fuel filler cap is actually created using the black interior plastic on the hood as well. Really cool to see that. Moving on to the next side, this side is the same as the previous, so I will not bore you with that, but obviously you can pause the video and have a look for yourself if you are looking for something in particular. Now taking a look at the rear of the car, there is not a whole lot to look at. because of the way this is designed, so it's going to be really a top view where you're going to see everything. But you can kind of see the engine section as well as the two exhausts. The exhausts are created using the black interior plastic, and you can also see that base gold coloured plastic returning again as well. Now for the, well actually let me talk about the rear windows as well. Those are obviously very much the standard Beetle's rear windows. It's nice to see that addition on this version of the car. It keeps that Volkswagen Beetle look, and you can also see the Volkswagen Beetle's standard vents also featuring on Mark Jones's imagination of this car. I'm going to turn this car so you can see the roof section and stuff a little bit better. First of all, on the spoiler we have Jones Race products, obviously referencing Mark Jones. And you can also see the Hot Wheels logo, which is done in white, as well as some nice striping which is starting. There are obviously 3 stripes, one thicker one and 2 smaller ones to each side of that thicker one. On the roof we have that continuation of the striping, so we have the white stripes as well as 3 golden stripes, 1 thick golden one and 2 very thin golden stripes. You can also see what I believe to be a roof scoop created using the black interior plastic as well. I'm pretty sure that's what that's meant to be. Very cool to see that indeed. And there you go, that's really it for this car. Not a whole lot going on. There are no windshield wipers either on this car. I nearly forgot to mention that. But again, that might just be something that Mark Jones intentionally designed. I'm not entirely sure. Anyways, that is it for this car. Now let's get into the review and my final thoughts on this one. Alright, so now for my final review and thoughts on this car. I think Mark Jones has absolutely nailed this casting. It looks awesome whilst also maintaining the classic Beetle look. It also is a wild interpretation, of course, on the car, but I think it looks really awesome, and it's obviously meant to be like a dragster type vehicle, and it really gets that design across, and it really is quite obvious that's what it's meant to be. I will mention that this car does not quite fit in the creative options organisers. You do have to put it in at an angle, but that's not really an issue. It's not like the Ford F-150 from 2009, that one there, which is an absolute nightmare to get in these. This one is much easier, so you won't have too much of an issue with that. Anyways, that leads me on to my score. What am I going to give this car out of 10? I'm going to give this car a solid 10 out of 10. It's a really good one, and I highly recommend you pick it up if you see it in stores, although I don't think there's going to be any nicer colours of this one, because I think that metallic red is perfect for this car, as well as that tampo work. Anyways, that is it for this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Remember, you can also press that notification bell so you do not miss a new upload. Remember, you can also share this video with any friends, family, or in any groups who may be interested, but remember, don't feel pressure to if you don't feel like you have anybody who may be interested in this video. You watching this video all the way to the end means so much to me, and I do thank you for watching all the way there. Anyways, that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye bye everyone.